Hello Internet! Today I'm going to show you the basics of Adobe Lightroom, a daunting program to people who haven't used it, but I assure you it's worth learning because it is awesome. So once you open up Lightroom, you'll see something like this. There won't be any photos to look at in it because you have not imported them. How Lightroom differs from Bridge, Adobe Bridge, is that it has a catalog, and you actually have to import photos from your hard drive into the Lightroom catalog for you to have any photos in Lightroom to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and import some photos. So I'm going to do Open Apple Shift I for import, and I'm just gonna grab some photos here from my computer. So I'm just gonna grab these photos. I'm going to choose them, and then you get a dialog here. Now you can do a couple things. If you're, for instance, importing from a flash card to your hard drive, you can copy the photos to a new location inside your hard drive, or you can actually, and this is what I'm going to do, since it's already on my hard drive, and I'm just doing this for the purpose of the tutorial, you can add photos to the catalog without moving. So they'll just remain on my desktop where they are now. Down here, you can have develop settings. We're not going to worry about that right now. Metadata, we're not going to worry about that right now. I wanted to talk about the previews. Unlike Bridge, you can render previews beforehand. So you don't have to wait each time you click to an image for it to come into focus like on Bridge, which makes Lightroom incredibly faster. So I always have this set to standard. You can have it set to 1:1, which means it's going to render the biggest size preview. So if you want to zoom in or whatever to check focus, you can do that without having to wait. That does take up more space on your hard drive, so for that reason I have it usually set to standard. I'm willing to wait if I want to zoom in, which I rarely do. And then you just click import. Now these are just JPEG, so it's going to import relatively quickly, and also it's not copying to my hard drive, so it's fast. It's rendering here. Task is complete, and here we go. These are the photos. You have them imported. You can click through and see how fast it is. It's very fast. And then over here you have some adjustments that you can make. Probably one of the cool things is to actually go over to the develop module in Lightroom. So I'm just going to click on that. Now in here you have, it's very similar to Bridge if you've used Bridge, but if you haven't, you have exposure, you have recovery, fill light, blackness, clarity. Saturation won't do anything because it's black and white. You have a lot of options, and really I just highly recommend when you get in here to just play with these, and it'll become obvious. And then you also have a history here, so you can, just like in Photoshop, if you scroll over different parts of the history, as you can see, the little preview up here is changing. So you can see and then decide, I'm just going to go back to where it was originally, click that. So that's very useful. The main thing to understand, I'm just going to click the letter G to get back to the main menu here. The main thing to understand about Lightroom is that there is a catalog. If you do move photos on your computer and you don't let Lightroom know about it, Lightroom will have no idea where those photos are. Let me give you an example. So see this photo right here of this man's face. I'm going to go over to my desktop, and I'm going to move that photo. I'm not going to delete it, I'm just going to simply move it. So we've got adults. Okay, so here we go. Here's that photo. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move that to somewhere else, as you can see there. Now I'm going to go back to Lightroom. Now you see that question mark right there next to there? Lightroom doesn't know where that is. So if I want to do anything with this and export it from Lightroom, which I'll get to in a minute, you cannot do that. because I moved it without letting Lightroom know. Now I'm going to go back here and put this back. Put this back where it belongs. Gallery images, adults. Bear with me here, okay? Okay, and now we're back. The question mark should go away. Yep, there it is, see? Because that's where it registered on the catalog. Now, if I did want to move these, the way to do that would be to move them within Lightroom. Then there's no problem. So you can actually drag photos and put them in different folders, like so. You can select all, you can move all these if you wanted to, etc. Okay, so let's say you import some photos. Let's say that I just took these pictures and they're on my computer and I wanted to alter them in some way, and then I wanted to post them online. So let's say that let's assume that I've worked on this, and in the develop module, it's all ready to go. I've made whatever corrections that I want to, and I want to use it to post it online, for example. Well, there's a couple ways you can do that, but the most basic way is to export it. So remember, we imported the photos to begin with, and now we have to export them. It'll still remain in the catalog. You're not exporting it out of the catalog. You're just exporting basically a copy of it to be used for other purposes. So that's, if you remember, it was Command-Shift-I to import. It's Command-Shift-E to export. So I'm going to do that. You get a box that comes up here. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just choose the location where you want to export it. I'm just going to choose the desktop. So there we go. You can actually put it in a subfolder. You can set up all these different naming conventions, which is really handy. I just have it set to saying, having a custom text and then a number, and if I'm exporting multiple images, it'll just number them, 1 through however many images there are. You can choose, so I'm just going to call this Lightroom tutorial image, and you can choose what type of file you want. I'm going to choose JPEG, sRGB, since we're going to post that on the internet, and that's the color space we want for the internet. In case you didn't know that, you want sRGB for the internet. I'm going to set the quality like I usually do to about 70, and the long edge like I usually do to 800 for the internet. And that's about it. You can do other things. You can sharpen it a little bit, or I don't really do that. I do most of my sharpening in Photoshop. So then you simply export it, and then it exported. We're going to go to desktop just to show you. Here it is right here on my desktop, and you can do whatever you want with it. So unlike Bridge, it's actually you're actually looking at what's in the catalog, whereas with Bridge, your Bridge is almost like a finder of your computer. So this is different. It's a lot more efficient, especially when you get into creating collections and keywording. Keywording is simply, as you can see right here, these are the keywords I have here. Country, that's the name of the man in the picture, and Portraiture 241, which is a class. Actually, I shot this in school. It's a class that I took it for. But you can do a lot with keywords. Keywords are down here. So, for instance, if I click on Alexa, 23 images, you just see pictures of Alexa there. If I click on, let's see, Casey, you just see pictures of Casey. And so that's extremely helpful if you have, tens or hundreds of thousands of images and you need to organize them. You have to go through the trouble of keywording them, but you can do that in the import dialog. When you're importing, here's the import dialog. So if I want to import images, then oh, let me get this right. If I want to import, let's see, say I want to import this image of me. So here you can add keywords. So this will speed up your efficiency in your workflow. If you, let's say, take pictures of the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, you could type in here Golden Gate. I actually already have that as a keyword, Golden Gate Bridge, and then you could put San Francisco, or you could put Golden Gate Bridge inside San Francisco with this. So Golden Gate Bridge goes inside San Francisco. And what that's going to do, I'll show you in a minute. Import. There's a picture of me. Obviously, I'm not the Golden Gate Bridge. And so what that's going to do is you will have, let's find San Francisco. Here we go. You have San Francisco right here, and then within San Francisco you have something called Golden Gate Bridge. So that's what I did there. So I'm kind of going all over the place, but I just wanted to show you how cool this program is. And one more thing before I go is you can create collections, which are little folders in Lightroom. So let's say I wanted to put all these guys in a collection. You do Command N for new, and you can create a collection as well. And so let's say I'm just going to say a Lightroom test. I'm going to include selected photos, and bam, right there you have, down here you have a little folder. I have tons of collections here, so you have a little folder here, and just like in Bridge, you can rate these. You can look at them by capture time, by rating. You could look at them by aspect ratio. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do. Of course, you can make the thumbnail small or large. You can get rid of these side panels, and it's very helpful to know all the quick keys to do this so that it speeds up your workflow. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know I've been all over the place, but I strongly encourage you to check out Lightroom, play with it, get comfortable with it, because it's, in my opinion, a superior data asset management system. So thanks for watching.